Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Commissioner Robert Patrick, Chair of the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee. I'd like to welcome all of you here, as well as introduce my colleagues, Commissioner Shakira Johnson, Commissioner District 4, Commissioner Nicole Masai, Commissioner District 3. We also have Commissioner Terry, Districts Super 6, and Commissioner Bolton, Super 7. With that said, Commissioners, the first item on our agenda is the minutes, 0930. If you are comfortable, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay. Got a proper motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. We're going to move on to new agenda items, Public Works, Roads and Drainage, 2025-0901. This is for a countywide, I guess all commission districts, reimbursement for traffic signal equipment relocations and damage. Mr. Lemke.
Yes, this is just a reimbursement. This, whenever we get a traffic accident and we end up with problems, we end up getting a reimbursement. So, this is accepting the $27,378.
Okay, all right. Commissioners, any questions?
And 1 cent.
Oh, and 1 cent.
Don't forget the 1 cent, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Lemke, there's an old work ahead sign at McClendon and Ponce. It's now turned into a graffiti covered sign. Can we get that removed, please?
Yeah, it seems to me when I looked at that not too long ago, and I wasn't even sure if it was ours, but I'll see what we can do with it.
It's not ours.
It doesn't matter.
But
yeah, I was going to say, it's
yeah.
been there long enough that whoever owns it doesn't really even know.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to, do you have any questions? Nope. Okay. Question for you, Rick, and I know this is going to get picayune. Let's say there's a bad accident and there's lots of marking all over what's ever left over of our signage, our striping on the road. Does insurance look after that as well? Can we come back and say, make us whole for that?
We try to submit whatever we can. Generally, the insurance companies handle those claims. So, a lot of that, if it goes through our risk department, we'll try and provide estimates,
Okay.
To do what we can on that.
Okay. Because that is damage.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I'll take the 27,378.01 anytime, but realistically, we probably suffered a heck of a lot more damage than
Understood.
that.
Right. Okay. Well, Commissioners, seeing no other questions, open the floor for a motion.
Motion to approve 0901.
Second.
All right, we've got proper motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, 2025-0309, this is for all commission districts. Accept the funding from Georgia Department of Transportation for fiscal year 2025 Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant, LMIG. Rick.
Yeah, we're real happy about this. This was a supplemental program that GDOT had available this year. There is no match required. This is a grant of $5,348,394.69. We are anticipating utilizing this supplemental grant for a number of different items, including school flasher upgrades, traffic signal upgrades, sidewalk repair and rehabilitation, road markings, and school signage upgrades. These are all things that are difficult for us to fund many times out of our operating budget, so being able to use this grant money is really critical, and we're really looking forward to having this done. I will add that, if you look at the list that I believe is attached in your packet, there's 320 different traffic signal locations, which seems like an awful lot. But part of this is also having to the county to comply with new federal requirements for audible pedestrian signals to comply with ADA requirements. So, we're making those adjustments as we can. I will add that, we provided this list. It was a short time frame between the time that it was notified that we were available or that this grant money was available and when we had to submit application. The list has some flexibility. We submit this list to the state. The state bases the grant upon, what we submit. But as we go out to bid and there's going to be changes in the estimates and whatnot, we might have some flexibility as to, being able to add, delete, whatever, a little bit to this grant. So, I know that quite often you're going to want to see, or your constituents are going to have suggestions on what we can do. And we're certainly entertain those as we get deeper into this process.
Okay. And I noticed at least one or two locations appear to be within a municipality. If the municipality has an SDS agreement with us that talks about the county's responsible for traffic lighting,
Right.
that's why they're here.
Correct.
Okay, commissioners, are there any, Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, first question, did we get this electronically? Because some of this text is really small.
I'm sure we can. I can
Okay,
do that.
thank you. And then I'm curious, typically LMIG does have a match. Do we know why there was no match this year?
Because this is a supplemental grant.
Supplemental,
This
gotcha.
was, essentially, this, as I understand it, this pertains to extra money that the state has available, and as a result, they don't require the match on it.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, I was just
No,
curious.
we're not either, believe me.
All righty, thank you.
Commissioner Masai, any questions, comments?
Yeah, I'm just really appreciating and trying to read the small print as much as I can.
I started laughing when I saw that, because, my eyes, there ain't no way.
I didn't even try.
I need extra readers for that one, but just some of the restoration, projects and traffic signal updates, particularly that are going on in District 3. So as a commissioner, it makes my heart happy to be able to see that. So I'm just excited and thankful.
Good.
Commissioner Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What is the, are these in order? I see this, I got the sidewalk restoration projects, and then the next spreadsheet. Is that the road markings replacement and upgrade? Are they in like that order in the packet?
They may be out of order in the packet.
It says 1.8 million, 1.88 million. Looks like everything cost 1,000. It looks like everything cost the exact same amount.
Yeah, and those are the estimates that we have to provide for, the grant authorization to the state to provide some level of, at least, a basis for the amount of grant that we're requesting. As I
Okay.
said, once we go out to bid, obviously those numbers are going to change because they'll reflect exactly what the contractor is going to do.
Okay, so the road markings replacement, are we going to use our striping truck for that?
Some of it would be striping, some of it would be things like crosswalks and arrows and things like that.
Okay, so we're going to take the 1.888 million, and that's just going to basically just pay for our internal staff to do the
No.
markings.
This, most of this will be through a contractor, so this will be in addition to what we were able to do with our staff.
Okay, I thought that I thought our striping contractor wasn't working out or whatever.
Well, obviously, we'll end up having to go with a new contract with this, so we'll be able to get hopefully some additional people doing that work.
Oh, so we're going to do a new contract?
Yeah, this would end up being a separate bid, so this would be a new contract.
Okay, so we're going to wait 6 months before the works get started?
I'd like to do it quicker than that, but we'll get it get it on as quick as we can.
Okay.
Commissioner Johnson?
I did have a follow-up question. Since this is a grant, do we expend the funds first and then get reimbursement and the checks in the mail? We just get
No, I was going
one
to say,
big check?
I think we may already even have the check.
Oh, even better. Okay, great, thank you.
Love it.
Anything else?
That's it. I love that.
Okay. Rick, a couple questions from me, unless there's anything else. Commissioner Bolton, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Sidewalk restoration projects, are those, can you explain that? Is that broken panels?
Yeah, that'd be broken panels, complaints that we have with cracked and broken, some missing, some connections, things like that, generally we'll try to take care of.
Okay. And then going through the packet, there's columns called conflict monitor, controller, labor cost. Those are fairly standardized. Is that just really assuming those talking crosswalks is what you were referring to?
No, generally, that is an element of a traffic signal controller.
Okay.
The conflict monitors essentially is a way of making sure that you don't have red lights showing up in both directions.
Right.
At the same time. So, if you do have a malfunction or some kind of electrical problem in that controller, that the conflict monitors will pick it up and stop it.
Okay. All right. And then final question. As I've said before, we had Georgia Safe Sidewalks go into District 1. unincorporated areas and sort of grind down any trip hazards that were about a quarter inch or less. They also came up with that list of sidewalk panels that need to be replaced. Where does that fit into the administration's perspective of funding of fixing those damaged sidewalk components?
I'll have to get back to you on that to see whether or not we've got all those included in this packet.
Okay.
That was the intent, was that we were going to take the list of the issues that were known to us and provide them, into this grant program. So I'll just have to get back with you on that because
All right.
there's too many for me to memorize.
Understood. But for the next meeting. You're going to be able to send out the actual spreadsheets that are
Yes,
associated with
I'll
item
get
for
these sent out
commissioners.
electronically, so you have at least a chance of reading them.
Okay. Commissioners, unless there's anything else, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Motion to approve 0903.
Second.
All right, we've got a proper
Thank you.
motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right, moving on. We have Department of Watershed Management, Director Reginald Wells. Affectionately Reggie, if that's okay? Absolutely. Okay. We're going to start at the top of the page 2. This is agenda item 2025-0722 for all commission districts. Change order to contract number 1309680, ductile iron main fittings, 3-year multi-year contract for use by the Department of Watershed Management. This contract consists of the purchase of ductile iron water main fittings. This request seeks to increase the contract term through December 31st, 2026, with a price increase awarded to Ferguson Waterworks LLC, contract term increase only. So it does note a price increase, but then says contract term increase only. Can you?
Yes, so it's both. So material, commodities are increasing. I believe we utilize quite a bit of ductile iron in our system. It's our standard. So this item does both. It allows the increase in price to market, as well as increase the term of the contract through the end of 2026.
Mm-hmm. And that increase is $2,857,000 and change-ish? Is that right? Pardon me.
No, I think that was
That was the previous
the award. So the price increase is actually a incremental delta over the unit price, and the overall amount will be based on the usage of those items.
Okay.
I think there was a schedule that was included that has the unit price adjustment on each item.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's a few percentages.
All right. And so are you, just to hear you say it again, you're staying within the original contracted amount, or what is the?
Correct.
the new-
At this time, we
At
don't
this
need
time.
to increase the contract amount or
Got it right there.
award. We
Okay.
just need to be able to adjust the unit pricing to the current market. But right now, we use it on an as-needed basis on a drawdown
Yep.
throughout operation, and we hadn't depleted the contract award amount at this point.
Perfect. Understood. Commissioners, are there any questions?
No, thank you for that explanation on the difference of not increasing the total contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. Commissioners, unless there are any other questions or comments, I'll open the floor for a motion.
I move to approve item 2025-0722.
Second.
Got a proper motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on. Agenda item 2025-0781. This is for all commission districts. Change order number 2 to contract number 1282666. Manhole rings, covers, and valve boxes, 3-year multi-year contract for use by the Department of Watershed Management. This contract consists of the purchase of manhole rings, covers, and valve boxes. This request is to increase contract funds awarded to Metals and Materials Engineers, LLC, amount not to exceed $1,500,000. Director Wells.
Yes, this here is also a commodities contract where we are seeking to increase, surprisingly, only funds at this time. But yes, we utilize consistently manhole rings, cover, and valve boxes throughout our daily response to our water and sewer system. And this is just another operational contract that we need to successfully do that.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions, any comments? Okay. Seeing none, I'll go ahead and open the floor for a motion.
Motion to approve item ending in 0781.
Second.
Got a proper motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's approved. The next one is a little bit different. It's 2025-0904. This is for all commission districts. City of Atlanta CIP payment, third quarter 2022, first quarter through first quarter 2025. Cost to the county, $25,138,227.54. So this is not a typical, this is not an invitation to bid. This is literally an invoice that was sent over from City of Atlanta to us.
Yes, sir. So to unpack that a little bit, so the same way we do capital planning, just a few months ago, we approved, I think, a 10-year, $4 billion for a specific time frame for a given amount of projects, et cetera. They do similar. They share it with us. We review, we go back and forth, and then where our funding requirements come is based on our utilization of some specific facilities, in particular RM Clayton, which is the vast majority of our costs. It's their largest wastewater treatment facility. We utilize about, our allotment is 48% of the capacity, 48.5, I believe to be exact. So any capital expenditures associated with RM Clayton, the trunks, et cetera, that carries the cap flows and ultimately treat, we're responsible for those capital expenditures. The same thing applies for South River and entrenchment, where we utilize basically roughly 7, 8, or 10%. It's a significant less. We're responsible for likewise that capital cost up to that utilization rate. This agreement was initially executed 1968-ish.
That was before I was born.
Yeah, all of you guys, of course.
It just, thank you, Ted.
I think I might have been considered by my parents at that time.
Right.
But yeah, so it's a long-standing agreement, and these are.
Like Zach's quiet.
Yeah, this gentleman may have been the only one that was here, but yes, it's a long.
Hey, the Cowboys were still back around in '66, right? Yeah, okay.
He's raising his hand. Kingsbury is raising his hand. These are capital costs that were planned, anticipated. Not only do we know on a proactive means, we actually vet invoices, calls, actually inspect completion of work, et cetera, before we actually ultimately present before you guys to tender payment.
Okay.
Approval to tender payment, rather.
This is a couple questions that are probably going to catch you off guard, so we can talk offline afterwards. But of that 48% that we have for RM Clayton, how much capacity does the cab have? And the purpose for the question is there are a lot of homes in District 1 that are still on septic. And so if there was this move or push to bring everything over to sewer, would there even be capacity for something like that?
So, great question. And based on the current flows, I think we're in pretty good shape. And actually, the agreement is pretty explicit, stating those allotments and actual quantities in MGD. And I don't want to go from memory.
Understood.
But I will.
We'll follow up on that one.
Yeah, I'll make sure you guys actually get the portion of the agreement that states just that.
Okay.
It actually breaks it down in 3 categories. I do know this: dry weather, think max month, and then wet weather peak or something like that, which is important for us because there's a lot of I&I. But it's just, the capacity is sufficient at this point.
Okay.
Which is also why we proactively contribute
Yes.
to ensure that our dependency won't be in
There'd be a
vain
lot
at some
of
point.
upset
Yeah.
people north of, I think, La Vista
Yeah.
Road if they.
Absolutely.
that
No,
didn't happen.
very, very important question. Thank you for that.
And then a final question for you. So is this sort of, this bill, you go to the grocery store, you pick out your items and you pay for it? Or is this something where we're making these payments, but we also have a little bit of involvement, I don't want to say oversight, but a little bit of involvement with City of Atlanta to make sure that our sewage is not creating problems
Correct.
within
So-
DeKalb or even into Fulton?
So it is a partnership. It's an agreement. We forecast. We let them know, if we have so much future as far as District 1 and whoever.
Right.
You got great plans, growing beyond belief. The projection is out of this world. We
Make sure. it's-
provide those projections well in advance to work on whatever expansion or capacity modifications
Okay.
that's practical,
Understood. All right.
right? Because there is finite, but the greater the horizon, the better our likelihood of not having challenges. I mean, they're in the business of
Understood.
wastewater and sewage, and
Yep.
we're a key part of that. So
Understood.
yeah.
Understood. Okay. Well, a good partnership. We want to keep rolling.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just to make sure I fully understand, because part of this payment goes all the way back to the third quarter of 2022. So it's not necessarily that we ignored the invoice, but that was the negotiating period of getting to a conclusion of what that final amount would be?
Yeah, well, yes and no. And what I mean by that, you'll get this. A lot of things slowed during the pandemic, so construction didn't take its typical course. For that, it allowed us a lot more freeboard and time. But for not that, it would be extremely outstanding. But that's why it's a significant time period, because of the slowdown in construction. We also experienced it here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
And so follow up to that, so now that construction has picked back up generally across the metro area, will we see these payments come up more frequently then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they will be more significant. And thank you for that. So case in point, if you look at some of the documentation provided, one of the, do you guys hear me?
Oh, your mic just went out.
Nope, just went out. They're coming.
Oh, still out. Hey.
Okay. Testing?
Nope.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, thank you for that question, Commissioner Johnson. If you look at, in particular, the item North Fork Storage, that's a $150 million project that I think commenced late 2024. And due to be completed in 2027. You'll see a tremendous amount of pickup costs on that project alone, although, and if you notice in the earlier time periods, the project cost was negligible, but it will become significant in that particular project The reason why I highlight it, it's specifically on that North Fork Peachtree, which goes directly to RM Clayton, which we are a direct benefactor of, serving quite a bit of the north. So
Yes.
obviously 48% of 150 million is going to be significant. So we'll be coming back not only frequent, but the dollar amount will more than likely increase.
Understood, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Masai, any questions?
You know, your response, Director Wells, yes and no is a lowerly answer, you know. It's just like, it depends. So you sounded like a lawyer for a second. I had to laugh at that when I saw interim county attorney Welch snicker as well. But no, I just appreciate the fact that we're getting to that rectification of this issue and, you know, payment of the invoice. And as you so eloquently pointed out, there are additional amounts that are, you know, going to apparently increase. I have one quick question as it relates to seeing, of course, South River and North Fork storage, but also I am seeing Entrenchment Creek. And not supporting one way or the other, Commissioner Terry's some of what he would like to do related to Entrenchment Creek, but there is the consideration as to, okay, you know, and that's what I guess the question is, because that makes a difference in terms of the ownership, you know, of it. Will it make a difference in terms of that bottom line number? Because to the extent there was anything that could be reversed, whether or not there would be any impact on those particular expenditures at all. Okay.
The name of the plant is Entrenchment.
Yes, sir. It's definitely the name of the plant. South River is also the name of a wastewater treatment plant. RM Clayton, North Fork is really storage and pumping station. It's on because it will be a facility. I think a 75 million gallon per day pumping station, which is kind of massive.
Okay.
But
Entrenchment Creek specifically.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just wondering if any ownership of that property or land would impact the capital expenditures that are owed to Atlanta. And if you're not, you know, certain, then that's fine. But just, you know, wondering whether or not it would have any impact. No, I
So
see
I'm
an
trying
interim
to-
county attorney shaking his head, but just, you know, and okay.
It's two different.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I think we need some
Yeah.
clarity.
Yeah, and Commissioners, I've just flipped the 4 relevant agreements. They should be top of box for all of you to the extent you're interested in reading them. The original IGA from '68, and then there have been 3 amendments, the most recent in 1999. But in terms of Entrenchment Creek, as Director Wells said, that's the name of the plant that serves that area. Our ownership of the land that is commonly referred to as Entrenchment Creek Park is it's a completely separate issue that wouldn't affect these agreements at all.
Okay, all right, thank you for that.
Yeah, no,
That's
good question.
The
Fair
extent of
question.
my question, I appreciate it, Mr. Chair. I yield back to you.
Commissioner Terry, Commissioner Bolton, any questions? Commissioner Terry?
Yes, thank you, Matt, for flipping us the agreements. So the 96 million for RM Clayton, because the agenda item says 96 million for RM Clayton, but it looks like we're actually, it's the 4. It's not just RM Clayton. So the agenda item that we're voting on for 25 million is actually all 4, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I might suggest maybe we could just update the need impact section. Maybe it just needs to say RM Clayton and then South River, North Fork Storage, and Entrenchment Creek. Would that be accurate?
So I'm trying to,
In the agenda item we have in front of us, it just
Okay.
says, the program approved in 2010 by the Board of Commissioners included approximately 96 million of capital improvements
Oh.
for RM Clayton,
So-
and then just it's period.
yes, sir. So,
So
no,
this is paying for all
that's,
4.
no, it's, both are true. The,
You're gonna answer again?
I think they weren't contradictory.
at the time stated, 2010, the contemplation for what was projected for RM Clayton, that was correct, 96 million. The capital outlay projected plan. So that's correct. Were additional dollars contemplated for the others. It's just that RM Clayton is, again, the massive lift. That's why it's usually spelled out in great detail, because the usual cost to South River and entrenchment is kind of negligible compared to what's required with RM Clayton.
Okay, because the spreadsheet provided us has the 4 different
Correct.
facilities. So that would be my suggestion is we just, I mean.
Leave
it's
out the historical content, because that's what that was provided for.
Gotcha, okay, that was just historical content.
You see what I mean? So that's why I said both are true.
Okay.
The 25 is specific to the attached supportive documentation.
Okay, all 4.
Correct.
Okay. And then how much, so are we caught up now, 2022, 2025? Was there a previous invoice from before 2022 that we haven't paid, or now we're caught up?
No, I believe we're caught up.
We're caught up.
Yeah, because I remember
Okay.
being here previously.
And you were in Atlanta.
Well,
Why didn't you call us, man? Where money at? You know how to reach us.
that wasn't my role there.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, good. All right. So basically, what Attorney Welch just sent us, we'll know sort of what the total costs of those agreements are over those agreement terms.
You'll know.
We don't know exactly
You'll know
now.
terms. So
We'll know terms. It's percentage.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So specifically, you're probably more familiar with
Percentage.
them.
So what those documents will show you is the breakdown that Director Wells was explaining, both the capacity we're allotted at the various Atlanta plants, as well as the percentage of cost allotted to us or allocated to us, I guess, based and primarily on those use statistics. It's a very complicated formula. RM Clayton is the easiest to understand, but so each year or each quarter, the city is supposed to invoice us based on those capital improvements and that actual use percentage. And so part of the vetting that happens before it gets to you all is confirming that work was performed, confirming the percentages are correct, all that good stuff. But you can't look at the document and determine an overall total eventual cost because it contemplates the city approving necessary capital improvements and passing a portion of the cost on to us. I will tell you that the city agreement is scheduled to expire on June 30th, 2029. So to the extent that we want to adjust these terms in any direction or talk about capacity limitations that might exist with the city, we're nearing the time where those discussions certainly need to begin. These long-term planning discussions take an awfully long time.
If
Talk
I may,
about the term of agreement. It's usually
Marcus?
about 30 years.
Yes, so under state law, IGAs can only last 50 years. The habit with this has been that it is a 30-year extension each time it's renewed. So it started in 68, and then I think there was an amendment in the 70s, one in the 80s, and then there was litigation in 99. So the last amendment, the contract that we are currently working under, was actually the result of litigation between the city and the county in the 90s over the cost of expansion and capital improvements at RM Clayton that totaled about $160 million. So we litigated what portion of that cost was ours, amended the agreement according to court order, and we continue to operate under that agreement today.
If I may, just 1 second, Marcus, for our conversation on Monday, could we include this in that conversation as to talking about how we, from the Board of Commissioners, PWI perspective, start getting ready for the 2029? Yeah, I can think of the cities on the north, Brookhaven, Chamblee, Dunwoody, Doraville. I don't know if Tucker flows in RM Clayton, but find out what their growth projections are from their comprehensive plans, and let's start getting ready for that conversation.
Sounds good. We'll include that.
All right, thank you.
And Mr. Chair, in that review, could we just find out what is the anticipated capacity for Entrenchment Creek
Okay.
shed, I guess, because that kind of slices our district, Commissioner Messiah, on one side and Snap Fingers kind of on the other side. So to the extent that there are future development plans, sometimes neighbors say, is there sewer capacity? I think the answer is, well, we have to ask Atlanta. But maybe you already know the answer
Yeah,
roughly.
So Usually we monitor our allotment and stay within that whenever I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Usually we monitor our allotment. Same with Atlanta. You'll see the breakdown to ensure that we proactively engage to ensure that we don't run outside our allotment.
Okay. Okay.
Preferably
with the
on.
ability to increase the allotment.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, if there's new sewer capacity needs in
Absolutely.
that shed, we would have to that's part of the agreement.
Yeah.
And we just pay more for it, basically?
Correct.
I guess there's a percentage, so we're always
Correct.
paying part of it anyways. Okay.
The percentage is based off usage of and the quantifiable way to do that is capacity of the plant.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just want to ask one more time, just to be crystal clear. Atlanta's not going to be asking us for any overdue bills. Now we're caught up,
Well,
I guess, at least to
mean,
March.
So
Zach? Okay.
Yeah.
This should do it. I think this is the second tranche that you've seen in the last couple of months.
Okay.
And quite frankly, we were waiting for the
Yeah.
rated
The bond.
money.
Right.
Money, yeah.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Checks in the mail?
And now there's cash behind it.
Now there's cash behind it. Okay. Director Wells, thank you very much. I think a good conversation. Any more questions from the commissioners? If not, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Happy to. Motion to approve 0904 as a City of Atlanta, DeKalb County resident.
Second.
What's that? Keep it flowing. Okay. We do have a second?
Had a second,
Okay,
yes.
got a proper motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. The next item I'm having is still under audit. Do you guys have additional information since this morning? Nope, hasn't changed. Okay, I'm just going to call this out, 2025-0911. This is for Commission Districts 5 and Super 7, $4,220,926.66. We're just going to let this roll over to the next BOC until we get Mr. Campbell's results. So moving on, under items previously heard, we have Public Works, Sanitation, and Beautification. Agenda item 2025-0618. This is for all commission districts. Contract numbers 1381670 and 1381672. Litter removal services. First renewal of 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Public Works, Sanitation, and Beautification. These contracts consist of the purchase of year-round litter removal services at 63 county roadways, MARTA stops, Department of Transportation, interstate exit ramps, and medians. This request seeks to exercise the first renewal option through June 30, 2026, awarded to American Eagle LLC and Russell Landscape, amount not to exceed $1,658,656.14.
Thank you, Commissioner Patrick. I appreciate that. At the last PWI, the one before that, I did ask for a 30-day deferral on this one because I want to go back and look at the prices and get with the vendors. And in doing so, I have done that. And this is what I'm getting ready to go over right now. This is not the official substitution. I was just speaking to Michelle Butler, Director Butler, and she was just saying that she did not get the official substitution. I'm sorry? Oh, they have it now, okay. You probably want to come up and speak, just to make sure everybody hears you clearly.
Sorry, I was talking to you. Okay, so a formal substitute will be forthcoming. What you have in front of you is the user department document that we're going to base that substitute upon.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Tracy, are you ultimately wanting us to move forward with this? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are ready to go right now.
Okay.
So what I did is I went back and spoke with the vendors, and so what we did is we talked with the vendors about their prices. The prices are based on per mile. And we have so many locations in the county that we actually go around and pick the litter. The litter abatement services is 52 weeks out the year. So we do use a hybrid program. We use our in-house crews, then we have the contracts that work with us also. So when we looked at the change of, we had the vendors to, one vendor was at $148 a mile. He reduced his down to $110 a mile. The other vendor was at $95 a mile. They did increase theirs to 106.4 because 40 cents, because they're saying that they need to go up a little bit on theirs. But the biggest change, the change in the litter prices will save us $258,000 a year.
Wow.
And then also during the mowing season, because we out there cutting grass from April the 1st until the end of November, we're picking up litter already. So what I also did was reduce the frequency, because some of these locations was 2 times a week. I reduced them down to 1 time a week because I'm picking up litter already before I cut grass. And so that during the summer months, the litter frequency for some of these locations will be reduced down to 1 time versus 2 times a week. And that just totally makes sense because we got an extra set of hands out there picking litter up. And with doing that also, once we did that, when you look at the change of the litter prices and the reduction during the summer months, we are going to save a total of $644,124 per year. And so,
Would you say that one more time?
$644,125.
And that's the DeKalb County savings right there.
Yes.
Love it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so the original price for the contract was $1.9 million, and now the new contract is going to be $1.3 million. So we do have $50K in there for contingency. And the reason why we have the contingency is we're still getting locations coming in.
Right.
So when you add in the contingency price, it brings the new price down to $1.4 million versus the $1.9 million.
Okay.
So that's the overall savings.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Masai, you good?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Commissioner Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had sent over Melrose, Pluma, Hillcrest, Locke, and Charity. Were those going to be done through the other in-house crews or on this contract?
Is that recent?
Yeah, remember last time we were here, I think actually Commissioner Patrick said send over any additional locations, and so.
Yeah, I thought we covered all of them, but we do
did
have
that,
contingency, Commissioner Terry. So, if you don't mind, if Ms. Cato could send it one more time, put it back up to my email chain. I do have in-house crews, but I just want to be sure that I have those locations covered because I did get some locations from Commissioner Patrick, so and I did have those already included. But my in-house crews are doing those.
Okay.
In
fact, that was going to be one of my questions.
If Miranda or Ms. Cato could send it back to, because usually they send it on your behalf, if they could send it back to me, I just want to be sure that I get it.
Yes, yes, June 4th, but I'll go ahead and just bump it. Thank you.
What was the locations again? You said Melrose?
Yeah, it's the Starlight neighborhood that has dumping basically, and so we asked the neighborhood to identify where we were seeing the worst dumping. So these might maybe be less frequent, but just trying to put them on the radar for regular because it's just a part of the county where it's kind of a no man's land in some areas.
Yeah, I know where that Starlight area is at. Yes, that's no problem.
Yep.
Probably needs to be on there already.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Commissioners.
Any other locations? I did get some locations from your office, Commissioner Johnson, yesterday. Ms. Brooks sent me about 2 or 3 locations. Really, she wanted us to do like immediate cleanup. I think one of them was Elm Road, Rockbridge. It was maybe a couple more other ones. But I did respond to her yesterday. And then once I responded, I noticed she sent another one once I got to the house.
And we did have a request for the landscaping or cutting the grass of the median on Hairston, but I know this is the litter contract.
Okay, so when I was at the town hall meetings with Commissioner Bolton and Commissioner Terry, that came up also. We are getting a quote on those, and I spoke to a resident this morning. The tree trimming has already been completed. We just need to get the grass cut now.
Yes.
So that's already been done. So and we are working on getting the vendor out. He was out there today looking to give us a price on that. But the vendor is scheduled to be out there next week. We're just trying to move it up. Because according to the resident, he was telling me that it's been a little bit longer than what it should have been.
It's pretty tall. I guess we had a meeting at the community center on Monday. It is pretty tall.
Okay. Yeah, you'll see some crews out there, if not tomorrow, definitely Monday by the latest.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
All right.
And that would go both ways, south and north is what I was told, but primarily south primarily. from Westlake Chapel all the way going down toward Panola.
Well, this one is right near Elam. So that
Okay.
would, yeah.
All right, got
right
it.
near Elam.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Commissioners, if there's no other questions, open the floor for a motion.
Motion to approve agenda item ending in 0618.
Second.
All right, we've got a proper motion, proper second. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right, thank you.
All right, moving on. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it as always. Reggie, we got another one for you. This was watershed management, and I think I heard that 2025-0389 did come out of audit today. All right, let me go ahead and sound this one off. Change order number 2 to contract numbers 1301520, 1301526, and change order number 1 to contract number 1301523, on-call water and sewer, multi-year contract with 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Watershed Management. These contracts consist of providing on-call services for the installation and repairs of various sizes of water and sewer pipes. The work also consists of providing the means to respond to emergencies and unforeseen failures or malfunctions throughout the county's distribution system. This request seeks to exercise the second renewal option for 3 contracts utilizing existing remaining funds. This request further seeks to increase the contract term by an additional 2 years through December 31st, 2028 for contract number 1301526. Lastly, this request seeks to increase contract funds and scope awarded to GS Construction Incorporated, Ruby Collins Incorporated, and SD&C Construction Incorporated, amount not to exceed $59,245,720.87. Reggie, what can you tell us about this?
Yes, sir. So this particular contracting vehicle, we utilize primarily to get a great deal of our consent decree required work done. In particular, that's why the one specific contract, 1301526, we're extending to 2028 because of one of the complex consent decree projects that requires us to bore underneath I-85 right by the Children's Hospital to construct a upsizing capacity relief project. Additionally, the other 2 contracts we're utilizing to do other key consent decree projects. And I think there is 1 or 2 water projects included, but primarily all 3 vendors are keenly focused on a lot of the consent decree requirements.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Johnson?
Okay, I have a nerdy question. Are we micro-tunneling or are we just, because it's too far to jack and bore under
Yes, it's so-
85, so it's a micro-tunnel?
Great question. Yes, it is micro tunneling.
I told you it was a nerdy question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, so for those of us
We're
who don't know,
having to
what
actually
is
enhance my
microtunneling?
Sorry.
So it's the word microtunneling mean that you're outside
Really
with an actual like remote control, you controlling the TBM
Oh,
versus
okay.
the traditional
Tunnel
tunneling
boring
where you
machine.
actually
Nice.
are inside the TBM.
Nice.
So microtunneling is utilized.
TBN's tunnel boring machine. correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, tunnel boring machine.
I knew that.
Microtunneling is usually for sewers.
Okay.
Usually up to maybe 100-ish inches in diameter.
Oh, wow.
Where when you start getting in feet diameter for those are traditional tunnel boring machines where individuals are actually inside.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Like the tunnels City of Atlanta completed not that long ago at Velvet Quarry.
correct.
Those are the really large ones where you can actually fit whole equipments in there.
Wow.
Absolutely. And
I'm sensing a field
ladder
trip,
set- yeah.
Reggie. I think we need to do one, so. Field trip?
I'm sure we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to, Ted wants to operate it.
And if you ever get a chance to go in one of the large tunnels, it's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
One day we'll probably get to where we're doing a 12, 20-foot diameter tunnel.
Nice.
That's the real sexy stuff.
Yeah.
Microtunneling is kind of like you're just, it's kind of uneventful, but
Gotcha.
yeah,
Hopefully.
Okay.
yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
We're going to
let's
continue.
emphasize the
We want
hopefully.
that uneventful.
Keep it boring.
Yeah, but with all the questions about capacity,
Okay.
larger infrastructure is coming.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right.
Thank you.
Commissioner Masai, then Commissioner Terry.
I just want to say first, now I see how you guys feel when we start getting into conversations on legal. I'm like, and I'm hearing Director Wells saying, yeah, and it's sexy stuff. And I'm like, where? I haven't heard it yet. It must be. But appreciate you always. Just looking at the prime contractors list and the agenda notes here, noticing there are two companies in particular that are both apparently subcontracting for GNS Construction, also Ruby Collins, and that's Lori's Transportation and Excavation. But when it comes to GNS or GS, they hadn't spent an amount, but apparently had done so for Ruby Collins, so that makes sense, the balance there. But the other is T&J Industries Development and Contracting, Inc., LSBE, DeKalb, and they're both on GS Construction and Ruby Collins. What I found is interesting, though, is for the same exact amount, 107,500 spent to date. So they're saying they spent 107,500 to date as a subcontractor for both GS Construction, Inc., and also for Ruby Collins Incorporated, and just some, like a little bit more insight there and how we follow that up. And I don't know if that's, a conversation also for Director Butler, or just trying to, understand just a bit more.
Yes, so we'll confirm and make sure it's just that and provide some insight. Yes.
That would be great. Thank you.
Commissioner Terry, you're good? Okay. Commissioners, open the floor up for a motion.
I move to approve item 2025-0389.
My second, contingent on us making sure there wasn't some doubling, some issue there related to the billing.
Understood.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All right, with all the, proper motion, proper second, all those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. And if Reggie or Ms. Butler, if you guys could get that for us for the 8th, that would be ideal.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll both take that and ensure
Yeah.
we provide the details.
Perfect, okay. Marcus, just double checking with you, no updates on 2025-0453 for $8.2 million?
Commissioners, the remaining items on the agenda that are listed above the $3 million threshold have not yet come back from audit, so that includes 0453, 0457, and 0606.
Okay.
All three of those are still currently within that review process.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion to just table these?
To be safe, let's
Okay.
just have a motion to defer these items for
Okay.
to the next PWI committee meeting.
Commissioners, I'm going to read these 3 items out if someone will say move for action. Agenda item 2025-0453.
Move for action.
Agenda item 2025-0457.
Move for action.
And agenda item 2025-0606.
Move for action. I move to defer item 0453, 0457, and 0606 for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Second.
Second, all right. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, Ted, I'm sorry we're out of time, man. We got to go. I am kidding. I am kidding. I am kidding. I am kidding.
Yeah, no.
All right. Next on the agenda, 2025-0739. This is for all commission districts. A resolution to amend the enabling legislation of watershed customer service watershed customer service and billing advisory group. I don't know if you want to take the lead or if Zach is in a position to talk to it yet, but
I can just give a quick one. So I think, so again, just as a background, when we passed the the customer protections resolution. One of the first lines was, or the first sort of bullet points, was that the new Office of Customer Advocacy, which we now know will be the Urban League, will have interface with this particular group. And so really what this resolution is doing is sort of just following through on the resolution we passed that would establish that structure. And so what is before you is a red line, or I guess a red font, of just the two sections that we are adding to the existing legislation for this already established group that was established back in 2016. And it just has two sections. It adds Section D, advocate on behalf of residents by interfacing with the DeKalb County Office of Water and Sewer Customer Advocacy. Maybe we could tweak that, Mr. County Attorney, that would acknowledge that, this could be the vendor. I don't know if that's a technicality. And county staff to identify issues and recommend improvements. And then under Section 4, we've added Section 4H, receive and review monthly reports from the Office of Water and Customer Sewer Advocacy to identify issues and recommend improvements. And so the idea there is that, maybe in the interest of time, that the Urban League would sort of kind of do their reports to this body on like that regular basis. Certainly they could still come to us, PWI or Committee of the Whole, whenever we ask them to. But this way it kind of sort of puts a lot of that in kind of that resident board. The customer advocates meant, ostensibly to be a little bit, independent, and then, and that's all the changes. So,
Zach, if I can call on you, and where is the administration on this? This seems like a good idea. I'll also say Commissioner Terry and I briefly talked about if there were other boards that might be collapsed into this as well, but just on the instant request, what's the thinking?
Right, so I don't think we would have any concern. So on the receive and review monthly reports, I think that's functionally how the existing board has operated. In the advocating on behalf of residents by interfacing, that's actually, something that everyone has grown comfortable with. Yeah, I can't think of other language that would, the devil's in the details. Once we get into what does advocacy mean, but I think the interfacing with the business units as well as our contractor, that will be a certain amount of the expectation. So.
Not to hold things up, would it be appropriate to have legal sort of give the once-over review and then just confirm CEO's office is comfortable with all different terms that are in there, so that when this moves forward, we can just get her done at the BOC as a straight up or down vote versus a lot of discussion? Put another way, I'd rather have the discussion here in PWI and flesh it out where all of us here can get it done, as opposed to debating it at the BOC. Would you be comfortable with 30 days? What would your preference be?
Well, I think I guess, Mr. Williams, when do we think Urban League will be on contract? I'm trying to align those, not like immediately,
Within the next 30 days. I'm guessing it'll be about that. As a matter of fact, I had conversation, as you would imagine, as you know, as recently as yesterday. And hopefully in the next day or so, I have a straw man contract from Urban League. So we're just kind of working through some of the conversations that we've been having. So I think order of magnitude, that 30 days, if they could maybe even both come at the same time. I mean, the Urban League is going to be doing some things related to planning now, but in terms of a formal contract, if we said 30 days, we'd probably be able to bring them both about the same time.
Okay. And then just to your point, Mr. Patrick, Mr. Chair, if the law department could maybe just help us wordsmith, now that we're not technically having an office, so I don't know how we kind of judge that to sort of just recognize who or our contractor. I don't know if that matters or not. But
Absolutely, and I think it'd be smart just to use a general term like that, but we can do that. And then Commissioner Terry, I'll follow up with you just to make sure that we understand the clear intent of these 2 additions, and we may wordsmith a little bit. But yeah, I don't have any legal concerns about what's being done here, but we can certainly turn it around.
Okay.
Commissioner Terry, would 8/12 BOC with a stop at PWI before that, would that be okay? Is that a comfortable timeframe, or?
8/12. Well,
I guess the other one would be.
will there be another PWI before July 22nd?
8/12.
Is PWI? Okay. Could y'all hear it back again on July 15th, and could we get feedback from the CEO's office and the law department? And then if it's ready, we'll take action. If not, we can certainly push it back again if we need to.
Okay, so defer to July 22nd with a stop previously at PWI, is that?
Yeah, that's
what
okay.
you're
I'd
saying?
prefer that, please.
Okay. Commissioners, any other questions or comments on this? Any scheduling?
But it still has to go to Urban League, right? It says
I think if you get your microphone.
Yeah, so my thoughts are, it still has to be discussed with the Urban League since they're playing party to this well. So, I mean, my motion would be for the August 12th BOC meeting with us stopping, back in PWI.
The only thing is I think I heard COO Williams say that they are working on having that ready within the 30-day time frame, and I want to acknowledge Commissioner Terry's desire to sort of keep those two as close in lockstep as possible. Zach, where are you?
Right, no, I think you just hit it on the head, but if you bring it back to committee, what did you say? The date for the committee?
July 15 committee with July
nothing
22nd
else-
BOC.
If nothing else, if it's held in committee till July 15th, we'll be able to update where we are at that time with the contract and so forth, and either we'll be able to make it or we won't be able to make it to that board meeting, you know what I mean?
Commissioner Terry?
Yeah, and I'll just as a maybe kind of point of reference, because I think and Marcus, you've been going to the meetings, I think, for this one. How often do they meet? They meet monthly. Okay, so when do they meet in August?
Yes, sir.
And
So
September.
While I'm pulling that up, it's the Watershed Customer Service Building Advisory Board meetings take place on the fourth Thursday of every month. So in July, they're meeting on July 24th. In August, they are meeting the fourth Thursday in August, which would be the 28th of August. So those are the next two scheduled meetings for that board.
Okay. And again, say what was the August meeting?
August 28th, Thursday.
28th,
12
okay.
p.m. in this building.
Okay. So that would be kind of my thought, is that if we have Urban League and we have this updated resolution, they'll be able to either have it sort of an initial discussion about this new role at the August meeting or September. Either could be fine. So if it's okay, can we stick with the July 22nd date? But then if we're not quite ready, that's fine.
If it needs to be amended on the way, it can be amended on the way. Okay, all right. Commissioner, thank you for your flexibility on that. Commissioners, any other thoughts? If not, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Where did we land? I'm sorry.
I think Commissioner Terry has suggested July 22nd BOC with a July 15 PWI stop. And then we can assess at that point if the administration's ready to roll forward, then we're moving faster. And if not, then we can come back and reassess at that.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right.
We
Well-
make it difficult, right?
We just get her done, right? I love it. That's our motto. Get
That's
it
it, the greatest shame on earth,
done. Exactly.
but we get it done.
Micro what?
Motion to.
Yes, we did.
I'm
Yes, we
sorry.
did.
Are we going to do what we're doing yet?
Unless there's anything else we need to talk about, like micro tunneling,
No, that's
TBMs?
fine. That's why
I
I'll
would
make
like
the
to suggest
suggestion.
that y'all have a special call meeting at Snapfinger.
I would say if we could have a special called meeting at RM Clayton. There you go. Let's get her done.
You want me to-
But that might be
Second the
complicated.
motion to adjourn on that note.
All those in favor?
All those in favor? Aye. Everyone, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the holiday. 4th of July is coming up next week. Please be safe. Come back alive.